and their perspectives on communication and how communication can create an impact on people. So today we have a renowned guest speaker, I should say my family friend. Over the past 2 years, he has almost I have become a part of his family, I should say. Rahul Jain is our guest speaker today. I invite Rahul Jain to this AJ's session of English speaking. Rahul Jain is an entrepreneur by profession. He is an inspirational speaker and a life coach too. I'm really proud to say that I have been a part of his Speak Up Club sessions for almost 2 years, and I admire his consistency. Every week, I wait for the 9 p.m. session and I join the session regularly. And 9 p.m. Saturdays are reserved for Speak Up Club. What do we do in the Speak Up Club? We share our perspectives on different topics. We listen to others' perspectives and we try to implement whatever we have learned in those sessions. Rahul is a passionate speaker. He is a Toastmaster and he inspires a lot of people with his passion. And Living Life is a particular initiative started by him, and he has touched over 25K people over the past 17 years. So it is a proud moment for me to welcome Rahul as a guest speaker to AJ's session. And I admire his undying spirit and passion for inspiring people. You will listen and know more about Rahul personally through this session. And I invite Rahul wholeheartedly to this session on communication. They say that if you can speak, you can influence. And if you can influence, you can inspire people. And that's what Rahul is going to do today. And a very warm welcome once again to you, Rahul. And over to AJ to give a brief welcome to Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome, Rahul sir, to my session. I'm really fortunate that today we get actually like a good personality like you. And I wanted to inform everyone that whenever I join Rahul sir's session, that's Saturday night, every Saturday night at 9 p.m. I just joined with him approx 2 to 3 months. But whenever I joined, I have learned new things. And when I implement those things in my life, I am able to change my life. So that's why I really wanted to thank you, Rahul sir, a lot. And I wanted to inform all of you, please take this session very carefully. And if possible, note down all these things also. I can guarantee you that you will learn a lot of things from today's session. And if you implement those things in your life, your communication, your profession, everything will be improved. You have to mind it. Thank you. Welcome, Rahul sir. Please.
Thank you, AJ, for inviting me to this platform. Looking at the turnout and looking at the excitement of all people, it's very energizing to be a part of this community. And audible?
Hello. Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So thank you at the onset for inviting me and making me a part of this session. I would request each one of you all to please switch on your videos so that we can have an engaging and interactive session. I would be asking a lot of questions and looking and listening to your stories. So request you to please switch on your videos and engage all through the session over the next 40 minutes or so, and then we can surely have Q&A and leave it open. And until AJ lets us continue with this session, we can surely keep it going. So with that, let me begin with the first exercise that I want to begin before I start the session. Each one of us want to be known for something. And there's something that if I were to ask your friend, what is that one adjective that, as an example, AJ or Satish or Rajesh or Pankaj, what would your friend tell about you in one word? If I were to ask you, what would that one word be? You can just put it in chat. If I ask your friend to describe who you are in one word, what will they say? To me, as an example, for me, it is going to be positive Rahul. That's always, and who I have always, and how I've built myself over the years. What would that be for you? You can put it in chat, or just unmute and speak if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Helpful, interesting. Oman Atraj says inspiring people, consistent and punctual. AJ, wonderful. So I would want each one of you all to do this one thing. Can you rename yourself with that first adjective and your name? Can you do that right now? If you can rename yourself, if it's possible. I understand if you're in the mobile and finding it challenging to update that, it's okay. But if it's possible, please update your name with that adjective. So for me, as an example, let me rename myself as positive Rahul. If it's possible, if it's not, then it's okay. I understand there could be some technological challenges right now. And AJ, can you manage the mute unmute in case there's some challenge? Okay, if someone by mistake unmutes. So okay, let's get going with the session for today. Thank you everyone for joining in on a Sunday night. It talks ounce about your interest and passion to learn. While this platform is about spoken English, I would want to make a small confession over here. When AJ asked me or requested me for the session, I told AJ that I'm not largely into spoken English per se, and more into communication. And so what I'll do today is, today's session might not be too relevant with regard to the spoken English and tips to improve your spoken English per se, but it will be focusing on a much more important thing which drives anyone's success. Because English, like I've always said, is just a language. हम कैसे बात करते हैं, अगर उसका इम्पैक्ट है, वो जरूरी है. हमें एक वहम है कि जो इंग्लिश बोलते हैं वो ज्ञानी है. Am I audible? AJ, you're saying no.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'll
Now
just
it's
continue.
okay. Actually, you're stuck in the middle.
Okay, is it just to AJ or to everyone? Am I audible, everyone? Can you just give a thumbs up or something?
Yes.
Yes, now we are audible, sir.
Perfect. Okay, let me continue then. So the entire idea behind spoken English, because of its requirement, आपके job में या फिर कहीं पे भी आपका एक image है कि जो English अच्छा बोलता है, वो एक अलग level के लोग हैं. I agree to a certain extent with regard to your jobs and your opportunities. English does make an impact, but I would say English is just a language, and beyond the rules, grammar, noun, pronoun, adjective, sentence formation, these are all the rules, and these are some things which everyone can learn as you practice, and as you grow, you can learn all these skills. But more important thing is, communication is a skill. Like you're learning some technology, language can also be learned in that way. With regard to the rules of the science of the language can be learned. But communication is a skill that needs to be built. And it is not related to only English per se. It is related to whatever language that you're speaking. How can you make an impact? That is what the focus of this session is going to be. How can you create a lasting impact? So if I were to ask you, if you remember any one individual, need not be English spoken, any individual who has made an impact on you, you have heard them speaking, you have heard their speeches, or saw a movie or some impact somewhere. If I were to ask you, can you recollect one person who's had a very deep impact on you with their communication? Now, with that person in your mind, ask yourself, what made it impactful? How did that person touch or change your life? I want you to reply in 1 or 2 words in the chat. How did that person, whosoever, I'm not saying I'm the hero or some individual I'm projecting for who I think is a wonderful star. Whosoever you think has created a lasting impact on your life, why do you think that impact was made? And today, when I'm saying lasting impact by that person, it could be 2 years back, 5 years back, 10 years back, you still remember them or what they said or how they said it. Ask yourself, why did they make an impact? If someone wants to unmute and speak, I'm more than happy to listen. And you would like to unmute and just say, you do not name the person. I'm just asking of what is it that made that communication impactful to you?
Shall I?
Yes, Murari, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone. So this is in fact a good start, I can say, Rahul sir. And this is most important. Why I can say it's most important? So there are many idols in our life. We admire them. We learn from them. So for me, my immediate boss. See, the bosses are not good to be talked, but yes, I can say I learned a lot from my boss.
Murari, I would like you to focus. What made it impactful?
Correct. So that how to be a thoughtful. I learned from boss how to collect a thought in any situation. Whatever the situation, how to collect thought and deliver your what is going inside you. So this is the important point what I learned from my boss.
Thank you, Murari, for that wonderful input. How can you collate all the things that are happening in your mind and present it? Wonderful. Getting the idea at the right time and hitting it on that moment is a wonderful idea. Thank you, Murari, for sharing that. Anyone else would like to share anything? I see in the chat the way they spoke, the way they connected with us. Jitendra, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, I want to share my one conversation between a IAS officer.
Can you take your audio piece a little closer? Audio piece. You're on mute.
Okay.
Audible now, go ahead.
Now audio is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I am sharing my opinion about 10 IAS officers. I working with many IAS officers, but there is a IAS officer. He was senior IAS officer. I learned from them many things from him about communications, how they speak, how to order your junior and how to order your senior also. I learned from them.
Interesting.
This was a wonderful IAS officer, according to me, and a very impressed in whole my life.
Okay, interesting. Thank you, Jitendra, for sharing that. Again, let me reframe my question and make it very specific. What made it impactful for you is my question. Anyone else would like to respond? Why did you think you were influenced by that person or by that person's communication? What made it impactful for you? Interesting. So just keep this picture of whatever your idol is, whosoever has made an impact on your life in your mind through the session, so that constantly there'll be 7 elements. There are 7 elements which I would like to share with you all, which I want you all to reflect on what makes communication impactful. Each one of us communicate in a different way, in different place. And I'm not limiting to standing up on stage and delivering a speech or going in front of your company team and presenting a case. I'm talking of every conversation that happens. How can you make a lasting impact on the people? Because that is what each one of us as communicators, that is the goal that we have, that everything that we speak should have an impact and it should last. It should not be like that flash on a pan which evaporates right after you're done. After 10 minutes, if you ask someone, what did I say? They won't remember. Now, keeping that in mind, let me begin with the first idea behind how communication can be made impactful. I'll be using this word impact to convey the pointers which I'm focusing on, which make a lasting impact on people. So the first thing is I could come here and speak in the language that Shashi Tharoor speaks. I can make a very impressive accent one, a speech, and I can become someone whom you all can look up to. But what am I here for? I'm here to convey the message. If I look at who I am as an individual and try to project the image that I am very well spoken, I have a good flair of language, I have good vocabulary. If I use all those words, at the end of it, each one of you all will think, or many of you all will think, बहुत अच्छा बोला, बहुत अच्छा बोला, लेकिन कहना क्या चाहते हैं? कहना क्या चाहते हैं? You see, you have come across many instances with many people. आप admire करते हो. After the presentation, after looking at them, after listening to whatever they have said, you come back and say, कितना excellent speaker है यार, कितना अच्छा बोलता है, कितना fluent है, क्या language है, क्या words है. लेकिन आपको पूछूंगा सीखा क्या, तो आप बोलोगे पता नहीं, बहुत अच्छा है. लेकिन one of the biggest flaws of communication is the I. Communication is not about you. Communication is about the idea, the purpose, and the receiver. मैं यहां आके पूरा सेशन अच्छे ज्ञानी इंग्लिश में दे सकता हूं, लेकिन अगर सामने वाली, अगर एक क्राउड के 27 लोग, 26 लोगों में से अगर वो वाली लैंग्वेज सिर्फ और सिर्फ 5-6 लोगों को समझ में आएगी, what is the purpose of it? What am I trying to accomplish with this session? If you all go back after this session thinking, हाँ यार राहुल जैन बहुत अच्छा स्पीकर है, बहुत अच्छा बोलता है, but with no takeaways, no learnings, no change in you, what is the point of that communication? We often think of spoken English and communication per se as an idea where we are trying to get admiration. We are trying to get admiration from the person about how well we are communicating, and less about the idea in itself and what the purpose is. So as an example, if someone is there in a technology company, as an example, they're going to present. Samne audience hai, the customers are there, and they go on to present with them and tell, this is the phone, it has 64 GB memory card, it has this chipset, it has that feature, it has this feature, like this it operates, this has this speed, this RAM, and all those things. It's good. The technicalities, the specifications are all good. But what impact will it have on the consumer who's listening to you? Does it matter to him of all these specifications that you're saying? Or does it matter to him what is benefit for me through this product? So when you look at any idea while you're communicating with anyone, focus on moving away from who you are. That is not the focus of communication. Focus on the idea and the purpose that you're trying to accomplish. Here I'm bringing in, मैं बीच-बीच में हिंदी क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? शुद्ध English session कर सकता हूँ ना मैं. But if I have to connect, if I have to see that people also resonate, they are much more comfortable in Hindi, मैं बीच-बीच में इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ ताकि आप लोग को point समझ में आए. नहीं तो मैं flow में जाके पूरा English में बोल के निपटा सकता हूँ मेरा point, और आधे लोग को समझ में भी नहीं आएगा. Doesn't help. It doesn't serve the purpose of communication. So the first point, focus on the idea, which is impact. The idea and the message that you're trying to convey, and less about who you are. Do not be bottled that communication is about me. It is not. अगर आप एक 2 साल के बच्चे से बात करोगे और वही लैंग्वेज में बात करोगे जो आप सीईओ से बात करोगे, it will fail. It will definitely fail. So अगर आप जाके गांव में बात कर रहे हो, वहां पे इंग्लिश में बात करोगे, तो it doesn't serve a purpose. आप उनके लिए हीरो बन जाओगे, हमारा गांव का बेटा शहर जाके बड़ा बन गया है, लेकिन आप उनको कुछ समझा रहे हो, कुछ बेच रहे हो, वो कुछ काम नहीं होगा. The point is, look at the purpose of that communication, the idea, and make the idea the centerpiece of your communication. That is I. The next, M. अभी मैंने ऑडियंस की बात की है. We have talked about the idea being the centerpiece. उसका जो फोकस है, make it the idea. But how is the idea relevant? अगर आपको एक चीज कन्विंस करनी है, as an example, आपके पापा को कन्विंस करना है, आपके बीवी को कन्विंस करना है, आपके बेटे को कन्विंस करना है, will the style change? Why does the style change? Because each one is different. जब स्टाइल यहां चेंज हो जाता है तो अपने नॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन में why do we assume that everyone that we are talking to is the same? We often end up with communication. अगर मेरा ये प्रेजेंटेशन है, अगर ये जो टॉक मैं जाके माइक्रोसॉफ्ट कंपनीज में मैनेजर्स को दे रहा हूं या फिर यहां दे रहा हूं, इट विल बी डिफरेंट. Pointers can be same, idea will be the focus, but the way it is being delivered based on who I am seeing will change. And for you to resonate, because आपको आपका point impact अगर छोड़ना है, impact आप खुद का बोल रहे हो या फिर सामने वाले इंसान के माइंड की बात कर रहे हो, और सामने वाला माइंड अगर देखेगा कि भाई इंग्लिश बोल रहा है या फिर खाली पॉइंट बोल रहा है, हाई लैंग्वेज बोल रहा है, द फोकस विल नॉट बी ऑन द लर्निंग. अगर इम्पैक्ट छोड़ना है तो सामने वाले के माइंड को समझो कि वो कौन है और उनको कैसे समझ में आएगा. सो द सेकंड पॉइंट इज मर्ज विद द ऑडियंस. Any impact is possible only if you are able to put the audience inside you. You're seeing gradually I'm taking away me. मैं कौन हूं, मैं राहुल हूं, मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर हूं, ये कर रहा हूं, वो कर रहा हूं, वो सब पीछे. आइडिया आप लोग को पिक्चर में ला रहा हूं मैं भी. So in whatever conversation that you have, merge with the audience, speak the language of the receiver. Language I'm not talking of just English, Hindi या बंगाली या कोई भी वो language की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. सामने वाले की टोनैलिटी क्या है, किस तरीके से बात करते हैं. अगर आपको एक कस्टमर को सेल करना है, वो कस्टमर किस सोच में है, उनके लिए प्रायोरिटीज क्या है, वो आगे लाइए. अभी जैसे एग्जांपल, एक 2-व्हीलर की शोरूम में जब मैंने ट्रेनिंग दी थी, आई वाज टॉकिंग टू देम कि अगर आपको सेल करना है, अगर आपका पिच, मेरे को ये बाइक सेल करनी है, जो भी आता है मेरे को टेक्निकली आई वांट टू सेल द बाइक, राइट. लेकिन अगर मेरा पिच जो स्टैंडर्ड जो मेरा स्क्रिप्ट रहता है, अगर वो सेम रख के जो भी आएगा मैं उसको बस उसके सामने यही रटा हुआ पूरा पढ़ दूंगा, इट डजंट वर्क. अगर सामने वाला एक कॉलेज गोइंग बच्चा आता है तो आपका टोन और पॉइंटर्स चेंज होंगे. सामने वाला एक फैमिली वाला, उसकी बीवी बाजू में खड़ी आएगा और बात करेगा तो आपका पॉइंट चेंज होगा. बीवी के साथ एक बच्चा है तो आपके पॉइंट चेंज होंगे. Look at how you are merging with the audience. अगर कॉलेज का बच्चा होगा तो आप बोलोगे इट्स अ वेरी ट्रेंडी बाइक, आजकल सब बच्चे ये खरीद रहे हैं, सब ट्रेंड में है, स्पीड देखो इसकी, क्या एक्सेलरेशन है देखो, 0 to 100 इन दिस स्पीड. वही अगर आप बीवी साथ में होती है तो आजकल सब फैमिलीज बहुत खरीद रहे हैं. बच्चा अगर साथ में है, इट हैज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट ब्रेकिंग फीचर. इसकी जो ब्रेक्स है, जो कंट्रोल है, नन ऑफ द सेम ब्रांड्स हैव द सेम कंट्रोल. बारिश में जो इसका कंट्रोल है, बारिश में टायर्स फिसलते नहीं है. या चेंज द स्टोरी ऑफ व्हाट यू आर सेलिंग बेस्ड ऑन हु द रिसीवर इज. सो सेकंड थिंग, merge with the audience. आप उनकी भाषा बोलोगे तो आपका जो पॉइंट है and the purpose है will be accomplished if you keep them as a centerpiece of your communication. Any doubts until now? Anyone would like to ask any question? I'm open. So the 2 points until now: first, keep the idea and the purpose of that idea as a centerpiece. Second, merge with the audience. Unless you merge with the audience, the communication becomes all about you and your thinking. गाड़ी सेम बेचना है, मेरा टारगेट बेचना है, लेकिन अगर मैं सेम पिच एक कॉलेज वाले को दूंगा, एक बच्चे वाले को दूंगा, it won't sell. It has to come from that side of what is the centerpiece. Then it will work out. Third point. Second point में एक आपको लगेगा कि अगर मैं किसी से कम्युनिकेट कर रहा हूं, there's something called as potent imaging. आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि उनका क्या इंटरेस्ट है, मैं उनके साइड से कैसे बात कर सकता हूँ, उनकी जो थॉट प्रोसेस, जब तक बोलेंगे नहीं या कम्युनिकेट नहीं करेंगे, मेरे को उनकी स्टोरी कैसे पता चलेगी. So many a times it's important to merge with the audience. You have to let the other person speak. Once you listen to what the other person says. जैसे कोई भी एक इंसान आता है, आप किसी से भी कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे हो, अगर वो बोलता है कि हाँ गार्डनिंग का है, कुछ भी जो सामने वाला इंसान पॉइंट उठाता है, उसको पकड़ के यू हैव टू बिल्ड योर एंटायर स्टोरी लाइन एंड नैरेटिव. होगा क्या उससे कि सामने वाले को इंटरेस्ट वाली चीज से आप बात करोगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली इंपैक्ट विल बी क्रिएटेड. सो सामने वाला इंसान अगर टेक्नोलॉजी, फोन्स, उन सब के बारे में बहुत पैशनेट है, या फिर इफ ही इज पैशनेट अबाउट फोटोग्राफी, जो भी पॉइंट आप कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हो, अगर आप सामने वाले इंसान का जो पिक्चर है वो बेस में रखते हुए बात करेंगे, तो that will be much more impactful. Now look at, again, go back to your idol or some of your friends who are much more deeply impacted on you. Look at how communication is about what you like. आपके areas of interest के हिसाब से सामने वाले जब बात करते हैं, automatically you are engaged with them. Make sense, everyone? Look at how you can find something in the receiver, ताकि जैसे आपको इंटरेस्ट लग रहा है, हाँ सडनली अगर आपको, जस्ट लेट मी आस्क पंकज, आपको किस फील्ड के बारे में इंटरेस्ट है? एनी फील्ड?
Mostly like it's related to the I'm working in a BPO KPO industry.
Okay.
So I have a more interest in that industry.
Okay, industry. So as an interest, cricket हो या फिर
Right.
gardening or any interest, any hobbies, something like that?
Motivational speaker.
हाँ, अभी मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर बोला है, या फिर कुछ भी कॉन्वर्जेशन में अगर
Right.
मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर के बारे में आता है. आपने वो वाली स्पीच सुनी क्या जो रिसेंटली उनकी आई थी, या फिर ये पॉइंट सुना आपने, कितना इनोवेटिवली उन्होंने प्रेजेंट किया है? लुक एट हाउ द सेंटर पीस, पंकज, मैं अगर पंकज से कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहा हूँ या बात कर रहा हूँ, द सेंटर पीस विल बिकम, हाँ मोटिवेशन के बारे में बात करो, पंकज सुनेगा.
Exactly.
So what you have to do as a communicator to have a deeper impact, find what is the commonality between you and the receiver. रिसीवर के दुनिया को उठाओगे तो सामने वाला सुनेगा ही सुनेगा. क्रिकेट है, गार्डनिंग है, जो भी सामने वाले की दुनिया है उसको उठाओ and redirect whatever your conversation, whatever your communication is about, redirect it through that. जैसे एक जगह पे I went to a cricket academy. I did the same program but use all the examples of cricket. जब बॉलिंग करते हो देखो क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, आपका स्ट्रेस लेवल देखो कैसे, how are you managing with that internal pain, और while practice you are able to do it, लेकिन वही लाइव मैच में आप बॉल नहीं डाल पा रहे हो. So it is a life skill session. जो नॉर्मल कॉलेज में जाके मैं बात करूंगा अलग होगा, लेकिन ऐसी एकेडमी को, I know everyone is into cricket and everything about their world is about cricket. I rearranged all the pointers in sync with cricket. That is how you can make it impactful. So focus on that aspect of how you're merging with the audience. Let's move next point. The next point is about, if I were to ask you, for you and also about your one friend, I would ask you, if I give you 5 words, if I give you 5 words right now and I ask you to create a story out of them, I ask you to create a story using these 5 words. Your story should have these 5 words. Let me give you the words and then I'll tell you what we are doing. The words are bicycle, desperate, red, warning, luck. I want you to take 30 seconds to build a story in your mind with these 5 words. The words again are bicycle, desperate, red, warning, and luck. Now, the question that I have for you is, I don't know any one of yours, but for the people who know you, if I were to ask them, ये 5 words अगर मैंने very frank सतीश को दिए होते तो वो क्या कहानी बनाएगा? आपका दोस्त बता पाएगा कि आप क्या कहानी बना सकते हो ये 5 words के साथ. For everyone else, for नरेंद्र, अगर आपके फ्रेंड को बोल दो कि मैंने आपको ये 5 words दिया है, नरेंद्र क्या स्टोरी बना सकता है इसके बारे में, he'll be able to tell you that. एग्जैक्ट नहीं, लेकिन एक अंदाजन स्टोरी पता है, नरेंद्र है तो ये स्टोरी बनेगी. पंकज है तो मोटिवेशनल वीडियोस देखता है, तो उसको ये इस हिसाब से स्टोरी बन सकती है, और अंदाजन, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग द एग्जैक्ट स्पेसिफिक्स, बट आई नो व्हाट विल पंकज बी थिंकिंग व्हेन आई एम गिविंग दीज 5 वर्ड्स. The reason I gave these 5 words to you per se, first point is the next point about P, which is patterns. We all have a habit of operating in patterns. हम कुछ भी नया कभी भी नहीं करते. आज अगर आप कुछ कर रहे हो, पिछले सालों से, महीनों से, हफ्तों से या सुबह से जो पैटर्न बना हुआ है, you are just replicating that pattern. You are just following that pattern. पंकज को अभी इसके बारे में कहानी बताऊंगा, तो पंकज ये बाइसाइकिल, ये रेड वार्निंग, लक के बारे में कोई ना कोई मोटिवेशनल स्टोरी के हिसाब से बना के रेडी करके, या मोटिवेशनल, if he is a positive person, he'll create a positive drawback and growth story as an example. So the point where what I'm trying to share here is we all operate in patterns, and it is very important on the first place, what is the pattern that you are creating is to be understood. अगर मैंने ये कहा कि ये 5 वर्ड से आप क्या कहानी बनाते हो, अगर सामने वाला इंसान सोच पा रहा है कि ये इंसान ऐसे पैटर्न, ये स्टोरी बनेगी, तो आपको समझने की बात है कि आप क्या इमेज है आपकी और आपका क्या नैरेटिव रहता है. मैं कभी भी एक प्रॉब्लम लेके एक इंसान के पास पहुंच गया, अगर मेरी बीवी होगी तो मुझे पता है कि क्या बोलने वाली है, मेरी सासू माँ होगी तो मुझे पता है कि क्या बोलने वाली है. सो आई एम नॉट लुकिंग, मैं आंसर आया नहीं है, आंसर आया नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे पता है कि क्या आने वाला है. क्यों? क्योंकि आई नो द पैटर्न इन विच पीपल ऑपरेट. चाहे आपका बॉस हो, चाहे आपका बच्चा हो, चाहे आपके कलीग्स हो, look at the pattern in which you are operating. That's an assessment for you to do. आप खुद सोचिए कि मैं अगर इसकी ये स्टोरी बना रहा हूं तो मैं क्यों बना रहा हूं, and does it serve the purpose of my communication, my impact. मैं जिस तरीके से बात करता हूं, जिससे कम्युनिकेट कर रहा हूं, this is the storyline which is coming, and am I happy or am I in control of this. तो अगर होता है तो आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ एक गेम खेलिएगा जिसमें आपके फ्रेंड को पूछिएगा कि मैं क्या सोचने वाला हूं, या फिर मैं इसका क्या जवाब देने वाला हूं. अगर वो सही बोल रहा है और अगर आप खुश हो कि वो जो सोच रहा है, जो बोल रहा है, मैं वही करने वाला था, अगर आप उस पैटर्न से खुश हो, इट्स गुड. बट उस पैटर्न से ना खुश हो कि मैं अगर लोगों के पास जा रहा हूं और मैं हमेशा नेगेटिव हूं, मैं कुछ भी क्रिटिकल ही बोलता हूं, मैं क्या बोलते हैं, प्रेज नहीं करता हूं, या फिर the way I'm communicating is not impactful, then is a time that you need to think of what is a pattern that you are creating. Just a minute. Give me a second, please. I'm sorry. So look at the patterns. So this was the part 1 of patterns. The second part of the patterns is, जैसे मैंने कहा कि आपका पैटर्न सामने वाला समझ सकता है. Look at what your pattern is. Are you clear with that? And are you happy with the pattern that you're creating? The second is, जैसे मैंने कहा कि आपका पैटर्न बन रहा है, आप भी दूसरों के पैटर्न बना रहे हो, आप भी दूसरों के पैटर्न बना रहे हो. शायद से अगर मैंने मेरी बीवी को ये चीज बोल दिया तो शायद से उसने कुछ अच्छा भी बोल दिया हो. बॉस को बोल दिया, शायद से ये चीज भी हो सकती कि बॉस क्रिटिकल ना होके चलेगा, लेट्स लर्न इट, लेट्स ट्राई दिस, इट्स ओके भी बोल सकता है. सो अपने लिए पैटर्न को समझिए कि लोग आपको किस तरीके से परसीव कर रहे हैं और क्या पैटर्न बना रहे हैं आपके बारे में, और दूसरों के बारे में होल्ड, क्योंकि पैटर्न्स अक्सर गलत हो सकते हैं. आप जो सोच रहे हो, मुझे लगा कि तुम डांटोगे मुझे, इसलिए मैंने नहीं बताया, शायद बताने से डांट नहीं पड़ती थी. This fluidity which is required for us to think, अपने को सोचना जरूरी है कि अगर इम्पैक्ट बनाना है, then we should be certain of the pattern that we are creating, and also be wary that मेरे जो stereotypes है, मैं इस इंसान को ऐसे देख रहा हूँ, ये इंसान ऐसे ही रेस्पॉन्ड करेगा. अगर मैं उस चीज में अटक जाता हूं, then I'm not giving the opportunity of communicating with them. Keep breaking the patterns that are there in your mind about others and be wary of the patterns that you have while communicating with others. Impact उससे बनता है जिसमें आप certain हो अपने imagery के बारे में, and for you to learn about other people, आप दूसरों के जो patterns अपने mind में बने हुए हैं उनको तोड़ो, मौका दो, समझने की कोशिश करो, and give every instance a possibility. So for this, what has happened for me personally, where I've learned a lot about this, is meeting diverse people. Over the last 2 years, Uma ma'am was mentioning about this initiative that I've started about Speak Up Club. Every Saturday night we meet. I've been interacting, while each of us will have a limitation कि मैं जाके BPO कंपनी में काम करता हूँ तो सब BPO वाले होते हैं, या फिर IT जॉब में हूँ तो सब IT वाले होते हैं, मैं बिजनेस में हूँ तो सब एक ही टाइप के लोग होते हैं. We have our limitations कि हम लोग जहाँ हैं, we are limited with the kind of people who are similar around us. The reason why we are blocked doing stereotypes is because we do not go beyond our common people. जितना आप लोगों से मिलोगे, जितना आप अलग अलग तरीके की सोच को सुनोगे, अपनाओ मत, सुनोगे, आपको पता चलेगा कि दुनिया में अलग अलग विचार है और वो सब वैलिड है. जैसे स्पीकअप क्लब के इनिशिएटिव के थ्रू मैंने वो जो चीज बोल रहा था, वी हैव हैड इंस्टेंस ऑफ पीपल, हमारे पास हमारे क्लब में लंदन से लोग आते हैं, कुवैत से आते हैं, बांग्लादेश से आते हैं. वी हैव पीपल ऑफ द एज 8-10 साल के बच्चे भी हैं, 70 साल के रिटायर्ड प्रोफेशनल्स भी है. वी हैव पीपल हु आर एम्प्लॉइज ऑल्सो, हु आर बिजनेस पीपल ऑल्सो. कोई इंजीनियरिंग वाला है, कोई डॉक्टर है. What happens when you put yourself in a diverse crowd is you become very flexible. हाँ, ये भी है, ये भी हो सकता है, मैंने सुना हुआ है. क्योंकि अगर आप उसी कॉमनैलिटी के साथ हो, जो एक ही सोच में रहते हैं, एक ही छोटे से, मैं गलती नहीं कहूंगा, क्योंकि अपनी दुनिया कई बार अक्सर होता है कि हम उस छोटी सी दुनिया में ही रहते हैं जहां पे एक ही तरीके से सोचने वाले होते हैं, एक ही तरीके से करने वाले होते हैं, तो नया सोच, अलग सोच नहीं होता, चाहे वो अपनी कम्युनिटीज में हो. जैसे मैंने देखा हुआ है कि बहुत सारे मुस्लिम फ्रेंड्स मुस्लिम्स में रहते हैं, हिंदूज में ही रहते हैं. मेरे सब फ्रेंड्स है, क्रिश्चियंस में है, मुस्लिम्स में है, हिंदूज में है, सब है. उससे होता क्या है कि एक अलग सोच क्या है, सुनने की कैपेसिटी बढ़ती है. एंड वो सुनना अगर आप कर सकते हो, अपनाना नहीं, सुनना अगर कर सकते हो, you will start understanding different patterns and you will not limit people into the patterns which you are thinking in a small exposure that you have. So focus on expanding your opportunities of how many people you are interacting with. अभी जैसे AJ मेरे को स्पीकअप क्लब में मिला है. Uma ma'am, she's from Mysore. I met her through Speak-Up Club. They're like this. I've come across hundreds of people who are different, and सबकी स्टोरी सुनता हूं तो लगता है कि हाँ यार, ये तो बहुत अलग है. मैं जैसे सोचता हूँ वो तो है ही नहीं, मैं जैसे करता हूँ ये तो वैसे करते ही नहीं है. अब जैसे मैं यहाँ पे इंडिया में हम बात कर रहे थे कि भाई सुबह 8 बजे से लेकर रात को 10 बजे तक लगे हुए हैं. यूरोप का कोई हमारे मेंबर आया, वो बोलता है कि हम तो 10 बजे चालू करते हैं, 5 बजे बंद करते हैं और 6 बजे पार्क में रहते हैं हमारे बच्चों के साथ. मैं बोला ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है यार. जितना आप सुनोगे तो क्या है, कभी भी आपके पास कुछ नया अलग सोच आएगा तो आप चौंकोगे नहीं कि भाई ये कहां से हो गया यार, ये भी होता है क्या. वो शौक नहीं होने के लिए आप कॉन्स्टेंटली अपने आप को दूसरे एवेन्यूज, दूसरे अलग लोगों के साथ मिलजोल करते रहो, जिससे आपको नई सोच, अलग सोच, नया नहीं लगेगा आपको. दैट ब्रिंग्स मी टू द फोर्थ पॉइंट. क्या आपको लगता है हम कुछ बोले बगैर भी इम्पैक्ट ला सकते हैं? AJ, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Actually, from this third point pattern, I learned beautiful things actually, that many times it's happened that because of our pattern, I am able to understand now that because of our pattern, we just assume others thinking according to us. And that for that reason, we actually spoiled our relationship to others also. Suppose according to our pattern, we are assuming something about the others. We are not able to listen that others pattern. We are not able to understand the others pattern. That's the problem. So I learned it, so I share it with you.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, sure. So just give me a second. There's some challenge in my laptop. It's stuck. I'm not sure why. Okay, am I audible now? Okay, thank you. So let's move to the next point, which is, until now we have talked about the idea and impact in communication, merging with the audience and understanding the patterns in which you operate. Because how much so you're working on creating new patterns or thinking about it, unless you're aware of your patterns, you will not be able to break or create something new. The next point, can you speak without speaking, make an impact? Without even speaking, can you make an impact? Very interesting idea, where I've felt that a lot of people who speak only, people want to see what is following up as an action. I've seen communication for the most deeper impact of how people make an impact is not with the words that they're saying, but how they are following up on what they're saying. The fourth point here is acting in sync with your communication. So I've seen people who speak 90% and do 10%. And then there are people who do not speak at all or very little, and they do a lot more. They show people a lot more. Here I'd like to share this story with that I had one fine day. I was teaching my son a few lessons, and what happened was, suddenly one fine day I didn't want to go to the office. India Pakistan match था, और हमेशा की तरह फोन किया, just sent a message to my boss that I'm not well, I won't be able to come. और उसके 15 मिनट बाद मैं और मेरे बेटे दोनों बैठे हैं, क्रिकेट मैच देख रहे हैं, इंडिया पाकिस्तान चालू हुआ है, एंड वी आर ऑल एक्साइटेड. और बाजू में बजा फोन, और फोन में नाम था बॉस कॉलिंग. नाउ द चैलेंज देयर वाज, मैंने बोल दिया मैं तबीयत खराब है. मैंने बोल दिया बेटे को, बेटा ये फोन पकड़, उठा के बोल दो कि मैं सो रहा हूँ. बेटा फट, पापा आप मैच देख रहे हो, सो कर रहे हो आप तो मैच देख रहे हो. मैंने बोला ठीक है, बोल दो उनको कि तबीयत खराब है. पापा आपकी तबीयत ठीक ही तो है, क्या हुआ आपको, चलना है क्या हॉस्पिटल कुछ? मैंने बोला उनको बोल दो कि मैं इधर नहीं हूं. लेकिन पापा आप तो इधर ही हो. मैंने बोला फोन उठाओ और बोलो उसको कि नहीं हूं मैं, खत्म. उसने फोन उठाया, पापा इधर नहीं है बोलने को बोले हैं, रख रहा हूं. फिर मैंने मेरा सर पकड़ के उसकी तरफ देखा, तो उसने बोला पापा कल ही आप मेरे को बता रहे हो, चाहे जो भी हो सच बोलो, चाहे जो भी हो सच बोलो. फिर मैंने बोला चुप. थोड़े दिन बाद उसके स्कूल की टीचर का फोन आया कि आपके बेटे का होमवर्क है, उसका टेंशन मत लेना, उसकी तबीयत का ध्यान रखो, होमवर्क तो बाद में कर लेंगे. मैंने उसकी मम्मा को पूछा कि इसकी तबीयत को क्या हो गया. उसने बोला सब ठीक है, कोई परेशानी नहीं है. तो मैं उसकी तरफ पलटा देखने के लिए कि भाई हुआ क्या है. बस पापा छोड़ दो. आप समझ रहे हो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? हम कहते कुछ है और अगर उसके एग्जैक्टली ऑपोजिट करते हैं तो सामने वाला किस चीज पे विश्वास करेगा, आप बोलिए. जो चीज दिखती है, ये नहीं कहूंगा कि हर जो चीज दिखती है वो सही है, लेकिन जो दिखती है एज एन एक्शन इज व्हाट इज इम्पैक्टफुल. हाउ इज योर फॉर क्रिएटिंग एन इम्पैक्ट. आपके टीचर ने अगर आपको कुछ बोला हो या फिर कुछ सिखाया हो, उसका ये मत देखो कि उन्होंने क्या बोला था. आज की तारीख में अगर उसका इम्पैक्ट है अगर आपके ऊपर, तो इसलिए है क्योंकि वो टीचर उस पॉइंट पे खड़े थे. आपके बॉस के देख लिया, आप खुद अपना देख लिए कि आपके अगर सामने वाला भरोसा नहीं करता, विश्वास नहीं करता या फिर नहीं मानता, कहीं तो ये चीज हो सकती है कि मैं वो खुद वो चीज नहीं करता. आपकी सोचने के लिए ये, बिकॉज कम्युनिकेशन व्हेन वी ऑफन थिंक कि आई वांट टू हैव एन इम्पैक्ट, आई वांट टू लीव एन इम्पैक्ट, वी ऑफन थिंक अबाउट लीविंग एन इम्पैक्ट इन द फॉर्म्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन बाय टेलिंग देम. अपने एम्प्लॉय को बोलोगे, अपने सबऑर्डिनेट को बोलोगे, अपने बीवी को बोलोगे, अपने बच्चों को बोलोगे, यू वांट टू हैव एन इम्पैक्ट. लेकिन वो इम्पैक्ट इज नॉट अ रिजल्ट ऑफ व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, इट इज एन इम्पैक्ट ऑफ व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. So focus more. If you want to have an impact, forget about all the communication. Just stand up and do whatever you're thinking. Whatever you believe in, stand for that. And then you'd see the result of it happening. The same thing, once I learned this lesson, मैं जब हेलमेट बाइक चलाता हूँ, हेलमेट पहनता हूँ कंपलसरी, और इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि चालान पड़ेगा। तो मेरे बेटे के लिए जब मैंने एक टॉय बाइक खरीदी, उसने बोला मैं ये बाइक पे बैठूंगा नहीं जब तक आप मेरे को एक हेलमेट खरीद के दोगे। टॉय बाइक पे उसको हेलमेट चाहिए था। क्यों? क्योंकि उसने कभी पापा को बगैर हेलमेट के बाइक पे बैठते हुए देखा ही नहीं। मैंने कभी उसको बोला नहीं कि हेलमेट पहनो, लेकिन उसने कभी मुझे देखा नहीं बगैर हेलमेट के बाइक पे बैठते हुए। So how did that impact happen? Without communicating. So focus on acting in sync with what you believe in, whatever you want to do. अक्सर लोग उनके टीम्स में या प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में अचीव नहीं कर पाते और they do not have an influence because they themselves do not stand for it. So more than any speech or any lecture or any talking to anyone, stand up for what you think is right and you'll see others following it. So that's about acting in sync. The fifth point, affirmative communication. So यहाँ पे जब मैंने आपको बोला था कि आपका नाम लिखो, आपका एडजेक्टिव लिखो, हेल्पफुल पंकज, ट्रस्टवर्दी मुरारी, वेरी फ्रैंक सतीश और मोटिवेटर उमा मैम, जो भी आप नाम देख रहे हो, the question is how are you communicating? जब आप बात कर रहे हो किसी के साथ, look at the tonality in which you're saying, क्योंकि not just what you're saying, the tonality in which you're saying makes a big difference. अक्सर बोला जाता है कि फॉर्म्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन में पैसिव फॉर्म है जो हो रहा है होने दो, जब जरूरत पड़ेगी तब बोलूंगा, और एग्रेसिव जो है हर चीज के लिए बोलेंगे, हर चीज ऐसे ही होनी है, ऐसे ही करना है बोलते हैं, तो सामने वाले को इट बिकम्स टू मच इंटिमिडेटिंग. And assertive communication, which is generally said, it's a good form of communication. So let me share with you a difference कि कैसे अपना communication, though with the tonality, it makes a very big difference. अगर मैं आपको पूछूं, आपको समझ में आ रहा है ना? जो बोल रहा हूं सब समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Yes, absolutely.
या फिर मैं बोलूं, इस पॉइंट के बारे में आपका क्या विचार है? दोनों का ऑब्जेक्टिव सेम है, मैं समझना चाह रहा हूं, लेकिन पहला जो तरीका था ये था कि मुझे नहीं पता कि आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. आई एम डाउटफुल अबाउट माई स्किल, आई एम डाउटफुल अबाउट व्हाट आई एम कम्युनिकेटिंग. व्हाइल सेकंड थिंग इज, आपका क्या विचार है इसके बारे में? आई एम अज्यूमिंग, आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट दैट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग आई एम श्योर अबाउट इट. अनदर एग्जांपल, शायद से आई थिंक ये चीज ट्राई करेंगे. ऑल्टरनेटिवली लेट्स ट्राई दिस. दोनों का ऑब्जेक्टिव सेम वही है, आप कहना चाहते हो कि ट्राई करते हैं. शायद एक कोशिश करें क्या? हाउ डू यू परसीव दैट? कि मैं खुद क्लियर नहीं हूं कि कोशिश करना चाहते हैं या नहीं. दूसरा वाला ये है कि जब मैं बोल रहा हूं कि लेट्स डू इट, लेट्स ट्राई, क्या होगा? ज्यादा से ज्यादा फेल हो जाएंगे या वर्कआउट नहीं करेगा, बट लेट्स ट्राई. लुक एट दिस पैटर्न डिफरेंस कि मैं कैसे कम्युनिकेट कर रहा हूं एंड उसका सामने वाले के ऊपर क्या इमेज बन रहा है. अनदर एग्जांपल, क्या मुझे 1 मिनट मिल सकता है कुछ बात करने? एक मिनट मिल सकता है क्या? ऑल्टरनेटिवली, सतीश आप जब फ्री हो तब 1 मिनट के लिए आपसे कुछ डिस्कस करना है, मेरे पास आ जाना. Seeing the difference? Seeing the difference? एक जिनमें आप खुद पहले से ही बैकफुट पे हो while you're communicating, and दूसरे में आप कॉन्फिडेंट हो कि मुझे कुछ बात करनी है, सतीश जब फ्री हो तब मेरे पास आना. One more example. So look at this difference between how you're presenting yourself. Communication is a result. Here is how you are assertive within yourself. Have a clarity कि मैं जो चीज कर रहा हूं सही है, मैं जो चाहता हूं वो कॉन्फिडेंट हूं. अगर वो क्लैरिटी अपने अंदर हो तो सामने वाले को जब बात करोगे आप, ऑटोमेटिकली टोनैलिटी चेंज हो जाती है एंड सामने वाले का आपका जो नजरिया है, आपका जो इमेज है, मेक्स द एंटायर डिफरेंस। ऐसे इंसान जो आपको पूछेगा 2 मिनट, जब टाइम एक 5 मिनट बात करनी है आपसे, आप ऐसे इंसान को कितना टाइम दोगे? जबकि आपके पास जब टाइम हो तब बोलना मेरे को आपसे 5 मिनट बात करनी है। 1 बार 2 बार 3 बार चल जाएगा, लेकिन अगर एक इंसान का नॉर्मल अप्रोच ही एक submissive or into kind of this approach in which his own image is not clear for himself, you won't respect that person that much. इसको तो जब देखना है तब देख लेंगे. So look at the approach in which you're having, and that is driven by who you are, who you're thinking you are. And that makes a very big difference in the way you're communicating. So the choice of words, the way you're presenting yourself makes a very big difference in the impact that you're going to have. सामने वाला आपको कितनी अहमियत देने वाला है is going to be decided by how you are speaking, how you are, the words that you're choosing, the way you're delivering them, the way you are communicating and presenting your self-worth in front of the other person is going to make a difference in the way you are communicating. That's it. The last point which I wanted to say, which was in the impact series, the last one is, आप लोग को ads पता है? Which is your favorite ad? Which is your favorite ad? Anyone can just unmute and speak. Anyone? आपको बहुत पसंद आया? जितेंद्र?
Fog.
Fog. Okay, interesting.
पुराना हो गया.
नहीं हो गया, चलो ठीक है, बढ़िया है. Anyways, which ad? बिस्वजीत?
सर 10 रुपए का सर्फ एक्सेल.
10 रुपए का सर्फ एक्सेल. इंटरेस्टिंग. शंकर?
Amul ad, Amul cartoon ad. I love to.
Amul cartoon. Nice series. Yeah. And anyways, Shrabunti, you wanted to say something?
ब्रेक बनता है.
Shrabunti? Okay, Satish, go ahead.
किटकैट ब्रेक बनता है.
ब्रेक बनता है. Now, अक्सर आज की तारीख में जब एड्स देखोगे आप, आपको अगर ब्रांड का नाम हटा दूं, और बोलूं कि ये एड किसी भी एड पे किसी भी ब्रांड के लिए चला सकते हैं, आप देखोगे कि दैट एड इज स्टिल वैलिड. ब्रेक बनता है, मैं तो मतलब मिरिंडा में भी डाल सकता हूं ब्रेक बनता है. लेकिन why do you remember this ad? Whatever came to your mind right now, why do you remember this ad? Because they are trying to build on the impact by touching your emotions, touching your stories, connecting with you, and basically अगर आप एयरटेल का एड बोलोगे तो मेरा एड का ये नेटवर्क अच्छा है, इतना स्पीड आता है, वो सब कोई नहीं बोल रहा आज की तरीके. लेकिन कोई एड आ रहा है और उसका कनेक्शन बस लास्ट में एयरटेल है करके बता दे रहे हैं. बिकॉज ह्यूमंस आर कनेक्टेड टू स्टोरीज, एंड स्टोरीज एंड इमोशंस आर व्हाट मेक अ डीपर इम्पैक्ट. सो द लास्ट पॉइंट व्हिच आई वांट टू से इन दिस इम्पैक्ट इज ट्रिगर इमोशंस. In your conversations, while you're talking to someone, interacting with someone, do not make it very lame and basic where it's just for the purpose of communication. You look at the best of presentations, best of ads here in this case, just as an example, the best of these things happen because they somewhere resonate with you and your emotion. I still remember how that Surf Excel ad का जो twist आया था, दाग अच्छे हैं, दाग अच्छे हैं. Look at the twist in emotion, and as a result, the connection which it had, and it's become one of the most successful ads. क्योंकि जो नैरेटिव क्रिएट किया, बच्चों को खेलने दो, दाग अच्छे हैं, दागों को हटाओ, खेल कूद किया, फिर वो उम्र को मत हटाओ. Look at the point. What I'm trying to say here is focus on how your conversation is eliciting an emotion from people. स्टोरी बताओ. आप कोई भी एक प्रेजेंटेशन देखिए, और रिमेंबर इफ यू टॉक ऑफ टुडे, 50 साल भी पहले कुछ हुआ है, it is not facts and figures or information that has come through and which has lasted for so long. If something has lasted today, it's because it's a story. आज भी मैं आपको पूछता हूँ, कछुए और हेरिंग टॉर्टोइस की स्टोरी जो है, हर कोई, all the 26 members will be able to tell me the story. क्यों? क्योंकि it's a story. क्योंकि you have that visual. जैसे मैं हेयर एंड टॉर्टॉइस बोलता हूं, आपको दिख जाता है हेयर भाग रहा है, कछुआ स्लो 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 जा रहा है, हेयर सो रहा है, स्लोली रेस का एंड आ रहा है, कछुआ निकल जा रहा है. You can visualize that. शायद से आप में से किसी ने ये कहानी 25 साल 30 साल पहले सुनी हो, लेकिन आज भी याद है. क्यों? क्योंकि it's a story. The same logic works for emotions. The same logic works for emotions. आज भी मैं अगर आपको 90s का बजाज का एड सुना दूं, खाली दिखाऊं कुछ नहीं, खाली बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक भी सुना दूं, तो भी आप बोल पाओगे कि ये बजाज का एड है. या फिर वो दूरदर्शन का बस है. सब आप खुद 80s में चले जाओगे, सोच 80s में चली जाएगी, आपकी बचपन की स्टोरीज याद आएंगी. क्यों? क्योंकि it is connected to a emotion. For you to have an impact, remember to trigger emotions in the receiver. Once you make an impact with an emotion, आज की तारीख में अगर आपको मैं पूछ लूं कि आपकी जिंदगी के 10 इंस्टेंसेस याद करने को, तो कई बार मुश्किल हो सकती है, लेकिन जो आएंगे वो वाले होंगे which had an emotion or a story to it. That's the power of stories and emotions. And for you to have a lasting impact, you look at any great presentation, any great speech, any great influencer, it's all about story and emotion. And using these, they're getting your call to action. इनको यूज करते हुए आपके द्वारा जो चीज चाहिए उनको, action, inspiration, some performance, whatever they're expecting out of you, they're using either of these two to trigger and get that result from you. So just a recap of all the 6 points, and then we'll open for Q&A. You can ask anything about all these 6 pointers or anything that you want to ask about in general. The 6 points that we focused on: impact and the purpose of communication, merging with the audience, the pattern that you're creating, acting in sync with who, what, or whatever you're communicating, the confidence which is coming through in your communication, and the last one is triggering action or emotion. This is impact for you to just keep a memory of what are the things that we discussed today. And I'm more than happy for any question answers now. Over to you, AJ.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. You just mesmerized the whole session. And I was just listening your all the whole conversation actually. I mesmerized actually by you. Thank you, sir. And if you have any question related to this communication, please you can ask to Rahul, sir. Now it's Q&A session. Please try to ask anything if you have any doubt. Because which I understood that only with your communication skill, you can create impact in another's life. And only that impact, for that impact only, you can grow in your life. Isn't it? Suppose I wanted to say about my session also, I am not good that much in English. I also know about it. In my session, there are a lot of speakers available who are better than me. But if I am able to connect with those person, if they are pay me and continue with me this journey, because of that impact, which I understood, because of that communication, because of that emotion, isn't it? So you can understand this point from this session also, that if you also want to build relationship with anyone, if you want to grow in your career, in your profession, you have to communicate with the people with the emotion and create impact in the audience. It's not means you are good in English or not. It means that you are able to communicate with that people impactful or not, isn't it? Thank you. Please, any question?
Okay, I'm open to questions. Shankar, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a, it is not a question. Actually sharing to all of you, and you know that.
Shankar, a little louder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
audible now.
Okay. I want to share one thing. what I learned from you and lots of speakers, the smile is one of the important thing at the time of communication. Apart from apart what I learned from you, the smile is one of the important thing. It is an important thing that by that I can also win lots of audience heart, and also I can actually I can make a good I can impact all I will make good impact on their mind or their thought process also about me. This is a learning from whole actually session. And
Thank you, Shankar. I think that's a very good point with regard to people wanting to listen to you. Here you can use this as a part of the example of patterns. In one of your patterns is how you are presenting yourself. Do you come across as a person whom people want to listen to, whom people want to spend time with? If you're not having that audience, reflect on what you can do and find and improve these smaller elements. Like as an example, it's a very basic thing which you can start practicing. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Try this. 1, 2, 3. Right now, it might not feel comfortable. It might feel very cosmetic or very unnatural. But as you progress, you'll realize that it becomes a part of you and how you are being perceived. And I think it's all how your mind is. This is a result of it, of how you're presenting yourself, how the calmness that is coming through, the smile that is coming through is all a reflection of how you are wired within. I think if that is in place, it all comes naturally. I didn't have to practice, by the way, this 1, 2, 3 smile thing, because I have been like this and it's helped me for a long time. Naturally, the problem is sometimes I've come instances where I'm talking on a serious note, presenting a very serious topic, and I'm still smiling. लोगों ने मेरे को feedback दिया Toastmasters में, your topic is about suicide, तुम smile मत करो यार उसमें.
This is something which is natural trait, I can say.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I think let's not brush away something which needs to be worked upon as a natural trait. Positive है तो बढ़िया है, अच्छा है, let's use that. But if it is not, I've seen a lot of people, look at your videos, if you have a natural tendency of having a frowning face, या फिर ये जो ऐसे दिखता है ना, consistently अगर दिख रहा है, then you have to consciously think of how I can improve on that. It takes a lot of time because these are built over a long period of time. मेरा जैसे एक challenge बोलता हूँ, मैं वीडियो सीखता हूँ मेरे तब, because I'm very expressive in nature, बहुत सारे मेरा वीडियोस पे पॉज करूंगा ना तो अजीब अजीब एक्सप्रेशन आएंगे, पूरा इमोशन ऐसे निकल के आता है ना, तो रिकॉर्डिंग में अगर पॉज कर दूं ना, मैं बोलता मैं कैसे दिख रहा हूँ, अरे ये क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं, कभी-कभी ऐसे लगता है.
I have one question, so
go ahead.
The same, yeah. And
hello.
Yes, AJ,
I'm sorry, sir.
Purari, go ahead with the question.
Yes, AJ,
Okay,
you are saying something. Is it time is over, or shall I proceed
No.
with the question?
I'm okay.
Okay. So the naturality, right? So that being a natural means don't be a mechanical or maybe a kind of the synthetic, cosmetic, as you mentioned, right? But sometimes we require to I think enact or to be little bit sugar coated. There are some places where we a little bit to be a diplomatic and to try to make other person as to sync, just to sync with the other person. Because if others are the person to whom I'm communicating and the person like the diplomacy, then I have to be like this at that point of time. Correct? But at the same time, how do I be natural? I don't want to live my natural behavior. This is my what I can say. It's my treasure. It's something which is inside me. I don't want to bypass, but still I want to communicate.
I would say there's a different audience. Like here, when I talked about the point of merging with the audience, here, let me use the example of cricket as an example. If all of you are in sync with cricket, you'll be able to resonate with this. Rishabh Pant has his own style. लेकिन अगर जो उसको खेलना है, जिस तरीके से खेलना है, अगर वो टेस्ट मैच में भी वैसे ही T20 की तरह खेलेगा, it will backfire. So there's a difference. There's a very subtle difference over here, where now over a period of time, he's learned the art to keep his strengths. to keep his strengths and yet respect the situation. If you look at, there's a very subtle game. What happens is that if you say that मैं ऐसा ही हूँ और मेरे को ऐसा ही करना है, like you said, you also mentioned this thing. मैं सामने वाले के हिसाब से diplomacy करता हूँ, सामने वाले के हिसाब से. So look at and judge the situation and play according to that. मेरा एक दोस्त है, जैसे एक मजाकिया, उसका आदत है कि हर चीज में कोई ना कोई ट्विस्ट लाके मजाक उड़ा देगा. कभी कभी ये चीज होती है कि if his natural self comes to the front when I'm talking something serious, I'm cut off. While the normal instances kabhi kabhi itna, so what is important is that make it relevant to the situation and the idea. Jahan pe point ye hai ki bhai focus is on the topic and it's a very important matter for you and close to you, and you want to communicate or present that ideology as you want it to be only. Do not dilute. But there will also be instances of where you're giving in. ठीक है, उसका नेचर है, पता है, रिश्ते ऐसे ही बनते हैं. रिश्ते चलाने हैं तो कई बार आपको छोड़ना भी पड़ेगा, कई बार आपको ये दिखाना भी पड़ेगा. अगेन व्हेन ही सेड डोंट गिव इन कंप्लीटली कि भाई मैं मेरा मजाक कर ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ, अंदर से घुट घुट के मरूंगा मैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट गुड फॉर द रिलेशनशिप. क्योंकि अगर सामने वाले के इंसान को दे रहे हो स्पेस, आपको कई बार अपनी स्पेस भी बनानी पड़ेगी. So that's a balancing game. All I'm saying is that find your strengths in communication. Also find your strengths and play to those strengths. Prefer playing to those strengths. Not everyone is good at everything. आज मेरे को कोई बोलता है कि भाई स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी में खड़े हैं, सडनली मैं अच्छा बोल रहा हूँ करके मुझे बोलेंगे कि भाई स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करो. नहीं होता, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. आप मेरे को मोटिवेशनल स्टोरी बोलो, इंस्पिरेशन बोलो, मोटिवेट करना बोलो, मैं कर लेता हूँ. That comes naturally. So I'll prefer to be in an audience which respects or which wants my strength. I'm not saying I'll not go to stand-up comedy, but वहां पे मैं जाऊंगा, सुनूंगा, मजे करूंगा, हंसूंगा, सब करूंगा. But don't expect me to stand up and deliver stand-up comedy like that. So understand the situation where you have to push yourself and where you have to reserve yourself. That is very subjective. Take that call, and I think you should be able to play it well, because not everybody has got it one way and only one way going forward for everything to be done. So I'm seeing a few people leaving, so I thought I'll just inform you all. I run this initiative called as Living Life, and if you go on Instagram, so on a YouTube, on Instagram, or on Google, just go and type @RahulJain.livinglife. Living Life is the brand name that I've been using, or this is an initiative under which I've been operating for the last 17 years. Began my journey exactly today, Friendship Day 2005. So it's 17 years completed today. I began this journey, and it's a funny instance how it began. It began all because of one teacher, and someone in the class bunked the class. Coincidentally, it was a teacher who bunked the class on that day, and someone had come to me and told me, you have a habit of writing some quotes or something. एक घंटा सब लोग आ गए, please engage करो उनको. तो मेरे को स्टेज पे खड़ा कर दिया और बोल दिया कि बात करो. मैं बात करने गया तो 2 घंटे बात कर लिया 1 घंटे के बदले. फिर मुझे लगा कि इसका कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, और वहां से स्टोरी चालू हो गई. And that's how my story began on Friendship Day in 2005, because I still remember that fine morning when it all began. In that year, it was 5th of August, 4th of August or 5th of August of 2005. So yeah, we keep posting a lot of motivating content on 3 verticals. One is impactful communication, how you can improve your communication. One is personal mastery, where you can become as an individual in the world within you. How can you be a master of your world? And the third one is about professional excellence, of how you can deliver whatever you're doing. How can you deliver it better and make a deeper impact in the way you're doing your professional work? So these are 3 verticals that we operate on. As a speaker, I deliver sessions, I do workshops on these 3 verticals. Different programs are there in this. So you can find me and follow me on Instagram and Facebook with the hashtag or this title, @RahulJain.livinglife. So look forward to seeing you all there, and looking forward to your comments and any thoughts as we keep posting content over there on a daily basis. Look forward to your content, your reactions and your comments there. Any other question, anyone?
Hello.
AJ wants a picture.
Picture time, sir.
Picture
Yes,
time.
yes, picture
So I would
time.
request all of you all to please switch on your videos so that we can get a good picture. Sunil, Rohit, all of you all can request you all to please switch on your videos. And I'll be sharing with AJ a link for the feedback for the session. Do share your feedback on what can be done better. What did you like about the session? I'll be really looking forward to listening to your comments. Okay then, smile everyone.
It's done.
Thank you, AJ. Quick 5 minutes. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to ask now. Or any thoughts you want to share about the session or any feedback that you have, you want to share it now. More than happy to listen.
I think it's a great session, Rahul, and as per me, the communication, what I understand so far, there are 2 types of communicator in this world. The one who had this privilege since childhood, and in family, in society, maybe the good schools, communication, English medium schools, everything, right? And those persons, they know very well, even though they don't know the subject, but they know how to speak, right? And the other communicators like us, most of us, what we are here on this platform, we are, I cannot say unfortunately, but yes, whatever we have, it's more than enough. God has given everything. But to be a good communicator, we need to understand the things which we discussed, and since 1 hour, what Rahul explained to us, and all those things will boost our confidence. That this is the only confidence, is the only secret for us like people to be a good communicator. We will not go back to the school and to learn all those things, fancy English and words, right? But still we can try. And how we can try? Become a confident as a human being. We can try and we can be a good communicator. And this is what I'm following. And I'm trying to understand and learn a good communication. Thanks.
Thank you, Murari, for that. But I would beg to differ on the classification over there. Yeah, with regard to the opportunities, I would say some people are blessed, like you mentioned, and some people have the opportunity to learn, is what I feel. You need not go back to the classroom to learn the basics of grammar or whatever things that we're talking of, the science part of it. If you look at MS Dhoni as an example, when he came in 2005, after he won his first man of the match, look at his English. And look at his English now. Or for that matter, anyone who's from a rural background, just for information, I come from a Andhra rural place. I stayed there for 14 years. So if you talk of education or language and the experience and the opportunity that I had, it wasn't much. But over the last 15, 16 years, I've taken every opportunity to learn. And if you would have heard me 10 years back, you would say, you would not be listening to me. But the point is, our intention has to be about, can I learn or not? If we're constantly focusing on learning, and the avenues today, luckily, thank COVID, that we are sitting like this and talking.
Correct.
Today, the avenues to learn are so many that there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you. And more so because earlier, if you were to tell that it's about YouTube where there's no engagement, it's only about listening, I can't do much. I know the challenges were there. But after COVID and the online space opening up, I feel everyone has that opportunity. And what could have been done, maybe taking 10 years earlier, can be done in 5 years now. I'm not saying doing it in 6 months, but all I'm saying is that opportunity to learn is far, far more today than what it was in the past. So my demarcation would be not about going back to the school, but the people who are wanting to learn and who are saying that this is who I am. I would look at demarcating in that way, because for everyone,
I completely agree. So that's what, see, my point is, even though I know that there are opportunity, but I don't know how to learn. See, the lack of awareness, lack of the knowledge, lack of, see, the Mr. Ajay created this platform, right? And I can say this is a wonderful initiative he has done, honestly speaking, right? But how many like us, they are joining? Because see, once they aware and once they generate the confidence, yes, I can also learn communication, I can also learn English, if this confidence will come to me, then I will start searching for the opportunity. I will start looking for the initiative. What are the initiative out of the world? I will go join, I will start learning.
Completely agree, completely agree. So that is where I would say, if your desire to learn is strong, like you said, the confidence part of it comes in. I think there's no stopping anyone. Just to give you another statistic, I'm not sure, I've not been a part of AJ's, this WhatsApp group or the club. I'm sure if there were 200 people who have come to AJ's session until now, and yet in today's session, you're able to see only 26 people. It talks about how much each individual really desires to learn.
Right.
That is the difference.
Yes.
If you are here, it means your desire is there. There will be situations, okay, exceptions that I could not make it. Or just to give you a statistic, yesterday I was talking with AJ. The sessions that I take up, AJ wants to be a part of it. But every Saturday night until 9:30, he's not able to make it because he has another commitment for valid reasons. And yet he joins at 9:30. In between the session, whatever is happening, he'll come and try to make sense ki ho kya raha hai yahan pe. But he'll join. That talks about the desire of individuals, and as a result, the confidence and picking up the opportunities and being a learner for life, that makes a very big difference. So thank you Murari for that. Anyone else, any other thoughts, any other question, feedback, your choice? Anyone? Okay, I think we are good to close for today.
Hello.
AJ? Yes, go ahead.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, sir, again for providing us such a wonderful session to us actually. And I'm very grateful that this day you started your journey, and I just this anniversary from you, that 5th year or whatever. So I'm really grateful and I'm lucky also, isn't it? So thanks a lot. I will connect with you many times. I will be in your touch, because whenever I feel that whenever I go to you in your session, I learned something new. And I request everyone, because 8:15 to 9:15 I had session, I know that Saturday also. But after 9:15 closing the session, I joined there 9:20 or 9:30. If possible, please try to join every Saturday from 9 it start. If possible for you, you will learn something if you have that intention. Definitely.
Is it
And you have
Toastmaster
to
meeting or individual? Rahul, is
No, Murari, this is a personal initiative. This is not Toastmaster. It's not a Toastmaster meeting format also. So basically, Speak Up Club is a platform that we have designed wherein it's about perspectives. So we have a theme announced for the session, for every session. So we have things like how to build your passion, or habits, or open mics wherein we have people that have an opportunity to speak. So different kinds of sessions. Yesterday night was 114 Saturday night. So that's how we began the journey in COVID. During COVID, 23rd May 2020 is when we began. And we have been doing it every Saturday night. And we have been announcing the theme of the session and people join. That's how it has been going on until now.
Yes,
Look forward to continuing.
I would love to join. I would love to join your
Sure.
session.
It's an open platform, and there are no fees or charges or anything at all. So that's how the club has been. And we'll be more than happy to have you all. But please join after 9:15. I don't want to disturb AJ's session schedule. It doesn't have to be that because I've come here now, AJ is getting, or AJ is suddenly saying 9 o'clock people are leaving. What happened?
No. We all are 200% supporting him, and we are joining. We'll make sure that AJ's session will get over, then we will join to you.
Okay.
Rahul sir,
yeah.
Rahul sir, I wanted to inform you something. Actually, I started this initiative approx 5 to 6 months before, and you can't believe it that whoever joined with me, actually they pay me also and they support me also. We are just like the family. We are just like a family. They know me very well, and actually we build a conversation, a very good conversation. We try to support each other. We go all together. Actually, so that's why I know that definitely they will help me every time. And if I actually ask them that please go there if possible, definitely they will join also.
Sure. Okay, then thank you everyone, and thank you everyone for being such a wonderful audience, sharing your ideas and expressing with the videos on. That gave me a very good insight about what you're thinking or how you're reacting or what you're feeling or getting the point or not. It was a wonderful experience being a part of this platform. Thank you, AJ, for inviting me. and it was a pleasure to be with you all. Looking forward to seeing you all and connecting with you all, and look forward to coming back again someday. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone. Thank you very
Good
much.
night.
Yeah.